Hey everyone, hope you're all doing good. Sort of as good as you can be in a national lockdown, at least here in the UK anyway. I just wanted to share a video with you really about how I took a voice note that I recorded last year and turned it into a fully produced track. So firstly, I'll play you the voice note. You'll probably hear some changes from the voice note to the actual track, but you know that's what you get when you just humming into a phone at I think it was like 11 minutes past midnight when I looked at the voice note. I should probably warn you because you do actually hear me burp, which is a bit gross but authentic. So yeah, I'll just play the track and I'll play the voice note first, and then you can see the initial idea is just a very short original voice note, and then I'll play you the finished track, which was actually mixed by my good friend Rich Aitken, who's a great mixing engineer, well worth checking out, and has got a huge load of big credits behind him, so was the right man for the job. Here we go. Bum bum ba-dum, bum 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 ba-dum, bum bum ba-bum, bum 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 ba ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. So this track sort of differed from any other track that I'd normally do. I mean, for one, I never write in this sort of style. This isn't really my bag at all. But it was for a pitch for a production music company, which I'm not sure if I should really say this, but I didn't actually get on the album. They thought it was too far off brief. So if any publishers are listening to this and like the track, hit me up. If you've got a good deal, hit me up, and we can talk about it. So yeah, I mean, I the aim was to get live players on this. So the only things that are fake really are the keys and the percussion. Everything else I didn't even bother mocking up. I just sent the sheet music straight off to the session players. And I just wanted to thank a few session players, which I will do later. I'll share with you the actual finished track now. Here we go. So yeah, that's the actual finished track, which was mixed by Rich. Really happy with the final mix. He just got it sounding super wide, and you can just hear everything. There's so much clarity in the mix. And I didn't actually bother mixing any of this. So the thing that you're about to hear is completely dry, no EQ, no panning. So it's going to sound dreadful when I play you what I actually sent Rich. Just because if you're getting someone to mix it for you, I don't really see the point in spending hours getting it, mixing it. So I've literally done no processing at all. So yeah, don't hate on me. But I just wanted to thank these players because they just, without these sorts of players, the world wouldn't be as good. I don't think. I don't hesitate to say that. So Sam Ewens on trumpet, Ashley Jarmack on winds, Rory Dempsey on bass, Joni Fuller on strings, Tom Nettleship on guitars, and of course Rich Aitken on the mix. And I just basically sent them the sheet music, and that was it really. I'll show you what I actually sent Sam. So this is obviously a transposed part. So this is what I sent him. Obviously, I know the trumpet can't play chords before any smart ass points that out. That was just basically for him to overdub it. I think he did it with some sort of trombone in the end. He did the lower line with the trombone. And then you got the melody. And then one of the references I sort of set myself was that sort of "You Can Call Me Al" stabs in the final section. So you can see what I've done there. And then there's the ending sting. So I basically wrote this with the aim of sort of advertisement. So I was really thinking about the way the track could be chopped up. So you'll see that there's sort of a break here. And there's a sting at the end, so you can just take the end. So ba 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 ba, but it's easy to take those bits apart, and hopefully it's sort of easy to chop the track up, and you could sort of stick the ending on anywhere, and it would still make sense. So that sort of means staying in the same key and not sort of deviating too far from style. All that sort of stuff. So let me just sort of work you through the track and the initial ideas I sort of had. Because, like I just said, one of the main references was "You Can Call Me Al." That wasn't from the production music. That's just sort of a reference I sent myself because I really love Paul Simon, and Graceland is such a great album, and "You Can Call Me Al" is just one of my favourite tracks ever, and just the brass in that, just the epitome of cool. So, that was the reference that I sent myself, and also "Dancing in the Moonlight" by Top Loader. There's sort of a mellotron here. I don't know if they used a real mellotron in the "Dancing in the Moonlight," but it just had that vibe to it, and it's got this sort of upbeat vibe. That's why I called it "Happy Go Lucky." And the original brief was actually sort of, carefree and upbeat and all that sort of stuff. So this could either be advertisement or kids' TV or something. So let's sort of solo the winds and take you through that. So I actually did mock up this part. See where, I can't actually remember where there's actually MIDI. Okay, so here. So that's live tin whistle. And tin whistle. Sorry if that's a bit loud in your headphones all of a sudden. Yeah, it's pretty shrill up the top there, but I love that because it cuts through super well, and a just great performance by Ashley. So obviously, there's sort of a penny whistle or something in the "You Can Call Me Al" track, and I just wanted to sort of replicate that with a whistle. And then we've got the brass, which is the main, obviously, bulk of the track. So that comes in here. Totally raw stems, by the way. Hence the dryness.
nice fall off at the end there. So you'll see that actually in this final section, the trumpet is playing much shorter stabs. So it's ba 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 ba, and that's just to allow basically everything else to cut through. So you've just got the shortest of notes in the trumpet there. But again, an awesome performance by Sam, and sort of blew me away when I heard that melody sort of come to life, because I'd just been playing it in on a keyboard up until that point, or imagining it in my head. You know, after I had that voice note, I was just playing it in, trying to get that melody perfect. So it should sort of stick in your head, and hopefully when you leave this video, it'll be stuck in your head. If I've done my job, that is. So yeah, You Can Call Me Al coming in there at the end. And just a massive layer of trombones and stuff, trumpets there at the end with the fall off. So that's just providing melodic content, basically, those two. And then you've got tune percussion, which is all fakes. That's a great library, by the way. Pong Glock. Let's see if I can get this to show up. It's on the wrong screen. Give me a sec. Trouble with having 3 screens is that something always appears on the wrong screen. So yeah, this glockenspiel, like sampled with ping pong balls, and it just adds a lot of top end sparkle. I mean, I wouldn't use it in like an orchestral track probably, but you'll just hear the top end of it. Just nice attack. So the marimba just sort of providing counterlines. So if you hear that in context with the original, you can just hear the marimba. So it's sort of following that phrase, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. It's sort of a rising and falling, just sort of carefree motion. And then we've got the same thing over here. Providing some harmony. Don't think you can actually hear that in the final mix. Don't know if Rich muted that. Maybe he thought it was better. Maybe he thought that's crap, take that out. But again, just so the tune percussion's just sort of driving it along, filling in the gaps really. Ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum, just rising and falling stuff. The percussion is the main thing that's really driving this track along, because the melody's quite sparse, obviously. So you've got this claps. Most of these are audio, by the way, so let's see there. Sticks here again. Bit of a sort of reverse thing going on there. So you can hear the reverse. Just sort of leads you into the next segment. It's good. It's a good way. It's a classic trick of getting into a new section. It's like using a suspended cymbal or a timpani roll. But obviously, probably wouldn't. Timpani, well, might work in a track like this, but I didn't choose to do that. Shaker in. basically what I'm aiming for is just to build the track very steadily every 4 or 8 bars. So every 4 or 8 bars something new comes in. And that claps goes throughout the whole track basically. Apart from this drop down. All about those clicks. Claps back in, sort of gradually building it up again. More snaps. Here's another reverse thing. It's a chain. Quite a cool sound. So you're just looking for sounds that are filling in the gaps. I mean, one thing I'm sort of an advocate of is, you know, when you're writing, you're not necessarily thinking about, you know, using a sound for a whole track. You might just use it for one beat. There's a lot of sounds in this that are just being used, you know, very sparsely here and there, and that just adds interest. So, you know, that's just the way I write, just trying to add interest by just bringing in a sound for a beat or two and then leaving it, you know. Never have enough cowbell. So I've got this drop out here so that it makes it very easy to edit to, and it just gives some separation from the section to section. Kick drum, helping to drive it. Bit of a conga. So drop out and then bring it back in for the ending, just to bring it out. So the percussion really is the main elements behind this, helping to drive it through. It's always just subtly building to a point and then dropping and then building and dropping. There's even a scissor sound in there. It's just one little... Wow. Didn't even realise I put that in. What's the toy hits? Okay, yeah, that's just helping to... You can hear that in the main mix. Just, yeah, super nicely buried away, but just still audible. Then you've got the low percussion, which I think you're actually hearing. Let's check that this is all going to the right bus. Okay. Maybe that's why I was confused, because it needs to go to low percussion. Nice hard kick. I'm just layering the kicks up there. Here's the... That's one sound of the kicks, of giving it a thud. And then more of a flappy sound on a stomp kick. Stomps. Slightly different stomps, just alternating between them two, just to give some variety. That wasn't played in live, so you're just trying to give as much variety as you can really there. The piano, so you got some mellotron, we got some electric piano, got a toy piano. Let's see what this is doing. It's just the Logic mellotron. Actually, I think it's the Arturio mellotron. Ancient wooden piano. Toy piano. They're just chords solidifying the... Some little grace notes there just to add a bit of interest. And then I've just sort of tried to add these little licks. You know, just little hooks like that you might not necessarily even notice, but they're just little... You know, I remember somebody saying to write a great pop track, you've got to have like 3 good hooks. So my hooks, I guess, would be... And then you've got... And then the other hook, I guess, would be... bum, bum, ba-dum. So I'm just trying to vary it up by sort of adding different hooks, I guess. And then strings. Strings are some of my favourite on here. So live strings by Joni Fuller did an amazing job as usual. Make sure you hire her on your jobs. She was just awesome. She's able to play pretty much she's able to play the whole section of strings basically. So first violins, viola and cello. I didn't need any cello on this, but the upper strings she did. Just to give some rhythm. Some 16ths. Then she comes back in with some little pizzicatos. So I just muted that. I actually had her playing to the end of the bar, but then I thought later, oh, let's have everyone dropping out. So I just muted that. So sort of this folky top line. And more sustains. There's that hook. Doubling the trumpet. Harmony. Melody comes back in. I was kind of channeling, who's that? There used to be like an M&S advert ages ago. I think it was an M&S advert where they would have the diddle-a-da-ba-bum, diddle-a-doo-doo-doo-ba. I can't remember who actually wrote that, but I guess I was channeling that with the violin. So yeah, I just, trying to make use of the different articulations to keep it realistic. So we got pizzicato, we got more sustains, and we got the shorts. You know, there's nothing wrong with just using the same articulation, but you want to mix it up a bit. So I tried to do that there. Guitars played by my good friend Tom Nettleship. So sort of Latin vibe there. Little Spanish line at the end. When you sort of hear, I remember there was a day where all the stems were just coming in at once. So I'd sent all the music out to the players, and then the stems were coming back in. It was just so exciting to hear, because I hadn't mocked any of it up, so I didn't really know how it was going to sound. It was a bit of a risk, but such a nice way to work differently rather than mocking stuff up all the time. So all these lines I just had imagined in my head, or I just had played them in on a piano patch just to check that they were definitely going to work. But in terms of the actual instruments and stuff, I just had an idea in my head, and it's like being sort of a Hollywood composer where you can basically do whatever you want. You know, if you're Hans Zimmer, you can say, right, I want 50 ukuleles in Air Hall. Let's give that a go. That'd be quite interesting. Anyone, Spitfire Audio, Christian Henson, if you're listening to this, 50 ukuleles. I want 50% of the sales. No, you have an idea and you want to execute it. So, it's nice to use live players. They bring the track to life. So hopefully that has come across. And then some upright bass played by Rory Dempsey, who's a great bass player. So I've tried to keep his part quite varied, so it's not repeating. So that's something new, all working around the same notes. Slightly different rhythms. Just keeping it groovy. How can I make that last section actually really different? I don't want to just repeat the same thing over and over again. So I thought, actually, I just came up with this descending line. Sting. And then, great bass part played by Rory. Thanks for doing that, Rory. And some vocals, just some shouts here and there. Hey, just samples. And that's it basically, and one here. Just a ha. So that's basically the track. Hopefully you've enjoyed listening to it and hearing a breakdown and how it started. I think the key is just keeping things varied. None of these sections really repeat. It's working on the same chords. It's about 3 chords. It's E, B, and A basically. But every section is trying to be something different. The strings are changing articulation. Suddenly it's doing shorts, and then it's doing arco, and then just keep it mixed up. I think that's the key with this sort of stuff. And I'm not really familiar with this style at all, so it's really a first for me. So go easy on me. But I'll just play through the actual track, and then I'll leave you. Cheers, guys. thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.